50K. You're watching WTVY News 4, your hometown news leader.
CBS Marketwatch Weekend is brought to you by Delphi, driving tomorrow's technology. Coming up on CBS Marketwatch Weekend, the SARS effect. How will this new health crisis impact global business? We'll take a look. The travel industry has hit several big bumps in the road recently, but the ride may be getting smoother. We'll tell you why. And the U.S. military has joined the fight against email spam. We'll find out what the battle plan looks like and how consumers may benefit. All that and more on CBS Marketwatch Weekend. Welcome to CBS Marketwatch Weekend. I'm Susan McGinnis. Wall Street is hoping the recent string of better-than-expected earnings reports continues. We've just closed the books on the busiest week of earnings season, but there are still major releases due out this coming week, including Walt Disney, McDonald's, DuPont, JDS Uniphase, Northrop Grumman, and Bristol-Myers Squibb, among others. Investors could applaud if they look as good as last week's numbers. The Street cheered better-than-expected results from companies including Amazon.com, American Express, eBay, International Paper, and Kellogg. But stocks continue to suffer under the weight of mixed economic news, the SARS illness, and a stubbornly weak job market. Let's go to Jean Lee now for a check on how the new week is shaping up. Jean?
Susan, data showing that the U.S. economy barely grew in the first quarter added fuel to Friday's selling. The Dow slid to a triple-digit loss, 133 points, closing out a busy week of earnings reports. For the week, it lost less than 0.5%. The S&P fell 12 points on Friday. For the week, it gained 0.6%, thanks to positive first-quarter earnings. The Nasdaq dropped 22 points on Friday, but also managed to eke out a modest gain for the week of less than 1%. The coming week brings a number of reports on how we spent our money in the month of March. On Monday, consumer spending figures get released. Tuesday holds a reading on consumer confidence. Later on in the week, we'll get reports on jobless claims and factory orders. Look for continued reaction to the AMR saga. The biggest U.S. carrier avoided bankruptcy at the last minute on Friday after its flight attendants union approved a revamped concession package less than 24 hours after the ouster of American Airlines CEO Don Carty. Susan?
All right, Jean, thanks for that. The actual impact of the recent SARS outbreak is only now beginning to be realized. Businesses across the U.S., especially those that rely heavily on the Asian workforce, have expressed concerns over meeting future customer demand. As Alexis Christoforous reports, if SARS continues to run its deadly course, the U.S. economy may no longer be immune.
SARS could slam the brakes further on economic growth, not just in Asia, but worldwide. The Federal Reserve even cites the flu-like disease as a factor holding back the ailing U.S. economy.
It will affect the supply chain. It will affect what we buy. It affects where we source stuff from.
The number of companies doing business in the affected countries is significant. In 2001, over 100,000 U.S. companies traded goods and services with Canada. More than 15,000 companies did business in China, while the number of companies exporting to Taiwan and Singapore totaled more than 33,000. The airline and tourism industries have already been rocked by SARS. Now, high-tech companies are feeling the impact.
China is the second biggest consumer of technology such as PCs. So if we have a breakdown here, it's going to affect all the big computer companies, your Hewlett-Packards, your Dells, your IBMs. So this is a very big deal, and its resolution is very important to the high-tech community's health.
Novellus and Microchip Technologies are just some of the companies blaming SARS for a sales slowdown. Hewlett-Packard has temporarily closed a Hong Kong office. Motorola workers in Singapore were quarantined, and Intel has even canceled 2 conferences in Asia. If SARS continues unabated, it could have a big impact on trade, forcing companies to find alternative suppliers.
They may have to switch sourcing to places like India, Pakistan, rather than China. But they can do that. It may just take a little while.
On a smaller scale, retailers here in New York City's Chinatown are already experiencing an economic boycott, with many consumers rejecting products made in Asia. Companies from Mattel to Nike also stand to lose if SARS disrupts production of their products in Asia. Williams-Sonoma and Pier 1 will not send their buyers to Asia until further notice. Instead, the retail chains will ask manufacturers to email digital photos of merchandise for the companies to review. Walmart has postponed all travel to China, which could hinder its plans to open 150 stores in the country. On the flip side, the fear over SARS has been a boon for the web conferencing company Placeware. Business there has jumped 16% in the past 6 weeks.
We're seeing quite a bit of increased traffic from the pharmaceutical industry and from also the high-tech sector and financial service clients, many of whom have operations over in Asia and have offices up in Canada as well.
But at some point, a face-to-face meeting is needed to close the deal. And economists say there simply won't be new contracts signed if people aren't flying to Asia. Susan?
Alexis, any word on when this disease might be eradicated?
Well, Susan, the former head of the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is saying that doctors probably will never be able to eradicate SARS, but they should be able to bring down the number of infections and deaths. Susan?
All right, Alexis Christophers, thanks for that report. And still ahead on CBS Marketwatch Weekend, they make stock trades on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. But is the specialist system working for your portfolio or their company's bottom lines? We explore the human factor at the New York Stock Exchange. And the travel industry has hit some rough air in the past couple of years, but the captain may be thinking about turning off the fasten seatbelt sign. That story's next. Stay with us.
It's almost 200,000 people in over 40 countries, working as one. It's 10 inventions every business day. And not all of them automotive. It's going from the Indy 500 to the Fortune 500. It's Delphi, where slowing down is not an option. Gotta go.
Imagine combining the stain-fighting power of Efferdent and freshening power of Listerine. You'd get Efferdent Plus. It's extra fresh, and nothing gets your dentures cleaner. Efferdent Clean, Listerine Fresh. That's Efferdent Plus.
Don't you love nursery's pollen? Look at that runny nose and those itchy eyes.
Yeah, ragweed, it doesn't get better than this.
Seasonal allergies live to make you miserable, but Allegra is specifically designed to block the histamine that triggers so many symptoms. Maybe that's why it's the #1 prescription antihistamine.
Looks like our little garden party's over.
You can thank Allegra for that.
For people 12 and over, side effects are low and may include headache, cold, or back pain. Ask your doctor about Allegra.
Allegra schmalegra.
Allegra, so much relief for so many symptoms.
No fruits, no flowers, no colors, no scales. Just the pure moisture of Lubriderm. Only the ingredients you need to keep dry skin at a distance. Lubriderm, a pure approach to healthier skin.
What a good feeling, a great sensation. Oh, you and me, baby, a good combination. Ah, sock it to me, 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 sock it to me. Ooh, baby, I started, yes I did, but I can't stop it.
Welcome back to CBS Marketwatch Weekend. United Airlines and U.S. Airways went bankrupt, and American could follow suit. Just when the travel industry looked to be bouncing back from the 1-2 punch of the 9/11 attacks and an economic downturn, America went to war, and the fear of SARS is putting a hold on some foreign travel. But despite a daunting list of problems, the travel and leisure sector may be poised for a long-awaited comeback. Ed Crane has the story.
Travel is the classic cyclical industry, and for the past 6 quarters, it's been in the down cycle. But with the war on the mop-up stage and the summer travel season approaching, beaten-down industry execs are sounding more confident.
We think we're bottoming out right now.
With capacity down, anywhere from 20 to 30%, depending on the route structure, I think that times are going to start to change.
But with the apparent turnaround comes a hefty price tag. From weekend hotel stays to Caribbean cruises to transcontinental plane trips, travel these days is a bargain hunter's paradise.
Rates have been cut all across the industry. There's no question that there's been a softening.
We've had to be very price aggressive to attract the consumer. We always have a great value relationship between the price of our products and the value of our products.
It's definitely a buyer's market. A lot of published reports say that prices are at their lowest point in 15 years, and just when you thought that they couldn't get any lower, the airlines have a fare sale.
Even the soon-to-be retired Concorde is on sale, marked down 66%.
Starting from $2,999 to try and give as many people as possible the opportunity to experience supersonic flight before Concorde retires.
But for many airlines, those fares are more directed at stemming losses than boosting profits. While cash-strapped carriers trim costs by phasing out meal service, cutting legroom, even charging customers for carrying golf bags, hotels are taking a different approach. They're actually adding amenities and sprucing up tired properties. This room is part of a $65 million renovation recently completed at New York City's Parker Meridien Hotel. Now, besides that comfortable bed, guests get this, an entertainment center with a 32-inch television screen, a video player, a DVD player, a CD player, and free internet access. Even a doorbell. That could be room service.
I don't think we can afford to cut amenities. Guests' expectations of hotels have increased over the years considerably.
The world's largest purveyor of floating hotels feels the same way.
The amenities are getting more exciting. The showrooms are getting more elaborate. Quality of entertainment, quality of spas, quality of food and choice of food outlets is getting better and better.
But there are new concerns for the industry. Intercontinental travel is still in the slump. Americans are traveling, but no further than Canada or the Caribbean for the most part. What to do with all those empty rooms?
We're renovating now. When the rooms are not needed, we are renovating thousands of rooms.
Ed Crane, CBS Marketwatch, New York.
Business travel is the slowest part of the industry to show a comeback, but travel executives project a full turnaround by late 2004. One tip from travel pros: if you want to take advantage of the new low fares, don't procrastinate. With fewer flights and smaller planes, seats on many routes are limited, and bargain fares may go quickly. Coming up, if you trade stocks on the big board, you probably use a specialist for your trades and may not even know it. We'll tell you about stock specialists and the controversial role they play at the New York Stock Exchange. And later, joining the battle against spam, the U.S. military is fighting the spread of unwanted email on the electronic battlefield. Stay with us.
It's almost 200,000 people working as one to turn technology into reality. To create an award-winning fluid suspension system so unique, it's Automobile Magazine's Technology of the Year. To deliver a portable satellite radio system that can go beyond your car to just about anywhere you want to take it. To design technologies that can survive the extremes of racing. And to do it all at the speed of Delphi. Gotta go.
Congratulations to the WTVY News 4 News and Sports Departments for collecting 6 Associated Press awards. Laura McNeil was honored with the Best Anchor and Best Specialized Reporter award, and Mike Gershban has been named Best Reporter. Brad Sherwood brought home the award for Best Sports Story. Kelly O'Donnell and Brad Sherwood collected the Best Sports Feature Story award, and Friday Night Football was once again named the Best Sports Program. An award-winning staff helping to make WTVY News 4 your hometown news leader.
Have you ever wanted to develop your artistic abilities? If so, you may already have the interest and desire needed to become a serious art student. To find out, simply call toll-free, and Art Instruction Schools will send you this enjoyable art test. There's no cost or obligation. Take the test at home in your spare time and mail it to us when you're done. Our experts will review and score your test. Since 1914, we've helped thousands of aspiring artists become more skilled, more confident, and more creative in their art. Whether you're interested in realism or fantasy, figure drawing or cartooning, you can pursue your vision under the expert guidance of our talented instructors. Call today for your free art test. We'll help you become a better artist. Call 1-800-216-5511.
Assistance is brought to you by Meineke.
It's like a...
Yep, new brakes. And now they're only $29.95. Meineke, right service, right price.
Welcome back. The New York Stock Exchange is investigating the trading practices of companies called specialist firms. They operate primarily on the trading floor of the exchange. Deepening concerns about the use of stock specialists has many financial observers wondering if the big board should take humans out of the trading equation altogether. CBS Marketwatch Wall Street correspondent David Widener talks with us about the current situation and potential solutions. David, thanks for coming in. Tell me about this investigation by the New York Stock Exchange into these specialist firms. Is this a huge scandal? What is the problem here?
Well, what the investigation is getting at is a long-time debate
over the role of specialists and their value to the market.
These are the people who are on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. They're connecting the buyers and the sellers, and they also somehow trade themselves for their own account, and this presents some conflicts of interest.
Right. They have a real conflict in that they are supposed to be conducting a fair and orderly market, but at the same time, they work for companies that need profits just like any other company. So when they trade for their own accounts, they have to be mindful of both their own interests and the interest of the market.
The New York Stock Exchange is the last exchange that has this full-time human element open outcry system. Why does Wall Street covet that system so much?
Well, the short answer is, and the one that they'll tell you, is that the exchange needs specialists to help keep the markets not only liquid, but to create kind of a buffer against wild swings. Specialists help to regulate prices and will help it against a surge or a loss.
Because if there's a buyer and not a seller, or a seller and not a buyer, they take the other.
Exactly. They create what's called liquidity.
But the electronic system is a more efficient system for the average investor.
Buyers and sellers are matched by a machine, and it's equal for the largest investor and the smallest investor.
Because when you're on the floor of the stock exchange and the specialist is there with a buyer and the seller, that brings a third party in who actually has a conflict of interest. He may buy from one and sell to the other when he should actually clear that trade between the two parties.
When you hold an order that someone has given you, that is valuable information. It's going to move the market. If you trade ahead of that order, you're going to make money based on that information. As markets across the globe have modernized, there's been increasing pressure on the stock exchange, the New York Stock Exchange, to go to an electronic-based system. They've done a little bit of that, but the specialist system still dominates on the floor.
Do these investigations really do another blow to investor confidence at a really bad time?
Absolutely. The stock exchange is suffering from a lot of public relations issues right now with the makeup of its board, with how it conducts trades. This is just another example of the controversy around the exchange.
All right, we'll be following your coverage of it. David Widener, thank you.
Thank you.
And David says expect a debate over the specialist versus electronic trading systems to go on, while new electronic trading networks called ECNs have been springing up to compete. They haven't gained the volume that many expected. David says expect today's so-called open outcry system to be around for a while. Still ahead, U.S. soldiers are eating dust in Iraq and facing an attack of spam in their email. We'll find out what the military is doing to battle the electronic email scourge. Plus, credit counseling agencies can be a great help if your budget is out of control, but some credit advisors may not have your best interest at heart. Ray Martin tells us more later.
Jeff Sanders has been with WTVY News 4 since 1996. And in that time, he's seen his fair share of severe weather.
You know, the weather here in the Wiregrass is ever-changing, from hurricanes such as Opal and George to the terrible tornadoes that hit Camilla, Georgia, and Midland City just a few short years ago. It never ceases to amaze me what can happen on a daily basis.
Watch Jeff Sanders, weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on WTVY News 4, your hometown news leader.
Landmark Park proudly presents the 5th annual Gospel Music Gathering in the Park, Friday, May the 2nd at 6 p.m.
Something wonderful has happened. God turned my life around.
This year's gathering features the Down East Boys and the Gam Brothers.
Jesus took his 12 disciples to an upper room.
Undivided will be on stage, plus Tammy Kirkland and guest MC Terry Davis. I'm Cricket Lee, and I'll be there too. The 5th annual Gospel Music Gathering at Landmark Park. See you there.
Attention, people without dental insurance. Now you too can save money whenever you visit the dentist with the People's Dental Plan. This discount plan saves you from 20 to 50% or more on virtually all dental procedures, guaranteed. You'll save on cleanings, root canals, braces, fillings, x-rays, crowns, dentures, and so much more at almost 20,000 locations nationwide. There are no claim forms. Just show your card for on-the-spot savings whenever you go to the dentist. This affordable plan costs less than $10 a month and covers your whole family, so it could more than pay for itself your very first visit. But as a special offer, call now and pay just $4.95 for the first month, a savings of $5 off the regular price. There are no limits on use or on how much you can save. So save from 20 to 50% or more on virtually all dental procedures, guaranteed. Get the People's Dental Plan today.
Call 1-800-982-4400 for free information on the People's Dental Plan. Call now.
brought to you by Icy Hot Patch.
I never know when pain's going to find me, but the Icy Hot Patch is where I find relief. Icy first to dull the pain, then hot to relax pain away for hours. I put it on and the pain is gone.
Welcome back. If you think the unsolicited spam email you get at home and work is a nuisance, imagine getting it while you're trying to fight a war. Those same unwanted ads for inkjet cartridges and body-enhancing wonder drugs have been crowding the inboxes of soldiers who simply want to see messages from home. Victoria Fong takes a look at the U.S. Armed Services battle plan against spam.
The U.S. military finds itself battling not just Saddam Hussein's regime in Iraq, but a deluge of spam as well. The Defense Department shares a personal message from a supply officer in Nasiriyah who writes, "Our connection to the net here is sporadic at best and normally doesn't work. I would love to reply individually to each of your emails, but unfortunately have limited time. After all, there's a war going on here." Troops using military addresses and accounts from Yahoo and Hotmail see the same annoying stuff all email users get. Pitches for mortgages, methods to enhance your sex life, and scams to get people to part with their money. Junk email has also taken on war-related themes. Each branch of the armed services is responsible for putting into place the filters and firewalls designed to block spam. A Defense Department spokesperson says, "We set a few standards, then let commanders take it from there." Military officials say they avoid listing their proxy and domain name server addresses to dodge email marketers. And they use off-the-shelf software and services available to the civilian population. Like Brightmail, the San Francisco company assigns a digital marker to each spam message it collects, enabling customers including Earthlink, MSN, AT&T, and the U.S. military to block junk email.
In the month of March, Brightmail processed 55 billion messages, which is about 10% of the world's email. And 45% of the messages that we processed, we categorized as spam.
One of the reasons there's so much spam is that it's cheap and easy to send. All it takes is an online connection and a mailing list. Marketing this way is so cost-effective compared to postal mailings that a sender can often make money if only 1 out of every 100,000 recipients buys a product. The anti-spam business is growing fast because, in addition to often being offensive, spam wastes time and clogs computer systems, costing American corporations an estimated $10 billion annually in lost productivity.
We've actually seen a real increase in the military use of SpamNet over the last couple of months.
Cloudmark, a San Francisco startup, offers both consumer and corporate products for fighting spam.
The growth rate of spam has actually outpaced the growth rate of email.
And analysts say it's only going to get worse.
Spam is growing at a tremendous rate. Clearly, 100% growth by 2004 is not out of range.
The danger of battling too aggressively is that many legitimate marketing messages may get blocked. But that seems like a small sacrifice when bullets are flying. In San Francisco, Victoria Fong, CBS Marketwatch.
Industry watchers say anti-spam filtering will be as common as antivirus software by next year. And earlier this month, a bill aimed at protecting consumers from spam was introduced in the Senate. When we come back, credit counseling services, they can help you, but they can also hurt you. Ray Martin will tell us about a scalding report on the industry when we come back in 60 seconds.
The perfect accessory for your right foot. Cadillac CTS. Breakthrough.
What do you get when you cross allergies with sinus trouble? Runny nose, itchy, watery eyes, sinus congestion, and pressure. So what should you get? Sudafed Sinus and Allergy, the strongest combination of these sinus and allergy medicines available, with or without prescription. It's my sinus and allergy answer. Sudafed Sinus and Allergy. Strong medicine, powerful relief. And for a full day of non-drowsy sinus relief, try Sudafed 12-Hour.
Welcome back. For many people, making ends meet from month to month can sometimes be a difficult task. Seeking the advice and help of a reputable credit counseling service has resolved credit problems for millions of people, but CBS Marketwatch personal finance expert Ray Martin says a scalding 58-page report by the Consumer Federation of America about credit counseling agencies should be viewed as a warning to consumers about these types of services.
It really boils down to warning consumers and the public about credit counseling agencies. You know, they pose themselves as to be debt saviors of the debt burdened, but really maybe they're really expensive middlemen getting paid by the credit card companies to help get collection of payments from people who are burdened by debt.
Right, but for those who do need them, what do they do for you?
Well, credit counseling agencies provide a service to individuals where they can consolidate, they can give you education, first of all, about debt and debt management, and then they can provide a service or a product called a debt management plan where they consolidate all of your debts, make you pay one payment to them, then they disperse that out to your creditors. And they can save you money 3 ways when they do this: by negotiating with your creditors to lower late fee charges, they can negotiate with your creditors to lower your interest rates, and they can get creditors to re-age your accounts and to mark them as paid in full for accounts that have a delinquent history.
Okay, so who should use them? How do you know if you need one?
Well, individuals that are just totally debt burdened, can't manage their debt themselves, are really incapable of managing and paying out, getting their debt paid off themselves, might consider a credit counseling service. It might be worth calling these services to see what they can do for you.
Okay, certainly some red flags if you are considering using one of these.
Well, you really do need to be careful. These credit counseling agencies are not regulated. In fact, they often take a not-for-profit status as a tax-exempt status, so they're not regulated or bonded or exempt from bonding and regulation by states. So no one's really watching these guys. So the red flags are, look out for high fees. If they ask you to give you 1 month's payment of all your debt to start up the plan, the debt management program, that's a high fee. Forget that. If they give you a high-pressure tactic and want you to sign an agreement without reading it, avoid them. If they have consumer complaints, check the Better Business Bureau, because these are local shops. They may sound like national names, but they're all locally run. Check for complaints to your local agencies, Chamber of Commerce and Better Business Bureau, to avoid them as well. And if they think they can give you a debt management program and counseling in 10 minutes or less, they haven't spent enough time on your situation to really understand and help you.
Okay, before you sign up, though, are there any alternatives you should check out first?
Well, I think anybody who is considering signing up for a debt management program at a consumer credit counseling agency should also talk to a competent and an unbiased professional about bankruptcy as an alternative. Bankruptcy can protect your rights, including preserving your retirement accounts, and credit counseling agencies are not going to tell you about this because they don't get paid if you do file for bankruptcy. And if that's the best course of action, you need to talk to an unbiased and competent professional about that alternative before you decide which way to go.
Okay, some good advice, Ray Martin. Thank you.
Always welcome.
For more consumer and personal finance information, check out Ray Martin's column on our website. It's at cbs.marketwatch.com. And that wraps up this edition of CBS MarketWatch Weekend. I'm Susan McGinnis. Have a great week. And until next time, we'll see you on the World Wide Web. CBS MarketWatch Weekend has been brought to you by Cadillac. Bold vehicles defying convention.
O'Donnell digs in Game 7 of the World Series. Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, the score is tied. O'Donnell calls his shots. High pitcher, bring me that fastball and see what happens. Here's the pitch. Oh! Yes!
Okay, we're going to need to find more work for you.
It was a home run.
Can you possibly imagine how much $1 trillion is? That's 1,000 billion. It's hard to imagine, isn't it? That's how much money trades on the foreign currency market each day. An incredible amount of money trading daily, and you can be part of it. The volatility and leverage of these markets is what makes the potential for incredible profit possible. Call us now and let us show you how an investment of $5,000 could return up to $10, $15, $20,000 or more in a short period of time. You can't afford not to take a look at these markets and see whether foreign currency trading belongs in your investment portfolio. Call now for your free investment pack and let us show you the potential these amazing markets have to offer. It's a toll-free number. Don't wait. Call the number on your screen now. See if foreign currency investing is for you.
You're watching WTVY News 4, your hometown news leader.